For ages, right? If you wanted to size up a country, you'd ask one thing: how much money does it have? But what if that's completely the wrong question? In this explainer, we're going to dig into a totally different way to measure a nation's success, one that looks past the bank account and right into the lives of its people.
So that really gets us to the heart of it, doesn't it? Is a rich country automatically a successful one? Are wealth and well-being really one and the same? Well, as we're about to find out, the real answer is a whole lot more interesting.
For decades, the answer was, well, it was pretty simple. You just looked at the money. The go-to metric was this thing called gross domestic product, or GDP. Basically, it's just a giant number that adds up everything a country makes and sells. And the thinking was, bigger number equals better country. Super straightforward, right? Easy to compare. But it kind of leaves the actual people out of the equation.
So to get that real story, we need a better tool. It's kind of like, instead of just looking at a company's bank statement, you give it a full-on medical checkup. And that's exactly where this thing called the Human Development Index, or HDI, comes into play. All right, so what is the HDI? Well, think of it as a combo score. It pulls together a few key things to give you a single, more meaningful number. It stops asking, how rich is this place, and starts asking, what can the people here do? What kind of lives can they lead? It's a total game changer in how we think about this stuff. And what's so cool about the HDI is how simple and, well, human it is. It's built on three main pillars. First up, can you live a long, healthy life? They measure that with life expectancy. Second, do you have access to knowledge? That's all about years of schooling. And third, can you have a decent standard of living? See, money is still in there, but now it's just one piece of the puzzle, not the whole shebang. Health, education, income, that's the trifecta. Now, the HDI is awesome, for sure, but it's really just the star player. To truly get a handle on a country's health, experts have a whole toolkit full of other specialized gadgets to zoom in on specific problems.
And this gives you a little taste of what's in that toolkit. You've got the Gender Inequality Index, which, you guessed it, looks at the gaps between men and women. Then there's the Multidimensional Poverty Index, which is super important because it reminds us that being poor isn't just about not having cash. It's also about lacking healthcare or education. And the Gini coefficient, that's a classic. It answers one simple question: who's got the money? Each one of these tools peels back another layer of the onion.
Okay, but here's where things get really tricky. There's a big but coming. Almost all of these numbers, even our fantastic HDI, usually rely on a national average. And here's the question: what if that one simple number is actually hiding the real story?
Let's make this real. So, take a look at country X. Its average life expectancy is 75. Not bad, right? I mean, on the surface, that sounds pretty decent. You look at that bar and think, okay, they're doing all right.
But what happens when we peek under the hood? Suddenly a totally different story pops up. Check this out. In the cities, people are living to 82, but out in the countryside, it's only 68. Whoa! That pretty good average of 75 was totally hiding a massive 14-year gap in lifespan. The average wasn't the story. The average was hiding the story.
And this idea is so important for understanding how the world works today. This is the big takeaway from all the research. National averages can be like a mask. They can make everything look smooth and even while hiding these massive cracks and divides between different groups of people. And that's the problem that the newest tools are trying to fix.
Okay, so if averages can be misleading, what do? We obviously need a better way, a way to measure things that looks not just at the total pie, but at how the slices are actually handed out. We need tools that are specifically designed to spot the gaps.
And the solution is actually pretty clever. We take our best tool, the HDI, and we give it a little reality check. We build in a way to tweak the score based on how unequal things really are on the ground. Enter the Inequality Adjusted HDI, or the IHDI. Now listen to this because this is the really powerful part. It doesn't just measure development. It reveals the loss in development. Think about that. The IHDI figures out what a country's HDI could be, its maximum potential if everything were fair, and then it shows you how much of that potential is just gone, wasted, because of inequality. It's literally a measure of lost human potential.
And what are these divides we're talking about? Well, exactly the kind of stuff we just saw. Those gaps between city and country. The disparities you see based on gender or race. The huge difference between someone with a stable job and someone working in the informal economy. And yeah, of course, the massive gaps between the rich and the poor. The IHDI tries to wrap its arms around all of it.
So why do we even care about all this? Why all the numbers? Well, it's simple, really. You can't fix a problem you don't know you have. By using these smarter tools, we can actually see those hidden gaps. And once you see them, you can start to do something about them. It gives everyone, from policymakers to us, the map we need to start closing those gaps. Seeing the problem is always the first step to solving it.
So that leaves us with a big question, right? Where do we go from here? We've gone from just counting money to looking at health, education, and even inequality. That's huge progress. But what are we still missing? What about things like, I don't know, happiness, or how strong our communities are, or the health of our planet? The better we get at measuring what matters, the more we have to ask ourselves, what truly important things are we still not even trying to count?